would advise all the Muslims, stay far away from AstraZeneca, stay far away from Moderna, stay far away from Pfizer. Yes, sir. The question from the gentleman is, does Islam fit in with American culture which is so diverse in its makeup, black people, white people, mixed race people, and of course the Native Americans who are the real owners of that land? Does Islam fit in with that culture, or does it fit in with Middle Eastern or Eastern culture, which is what he understands Islam culture to be? It's a very good question. We are taught in the Nation of Islam by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that Islam comes with its own culture. We don't believe that Islam is just a religion. Islam is more than a religion. Islam is a complete way of life. And Islam does not come to fit in with American culture or even so-called Eastern culture. Islam comes with its own culture. And that culture is something that has to be cultivated in the people in order that the people can be really Islamic rather than first black or white or mixed or any other complexion you care to name. Islam brings its own culture. Any other question? Yes, sir. Beautiful, man. Good to see you, brother. Oh, we've had a torrid time. They want to shut us down. Yes, they say we are not Muslims. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Wendell Daniel from Street Light yet again. Can you tell me where you will be next Sunday at this time and what will the teaching be?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, brother. This time next week, inshallah, if Allah spares our life, we'll be back here in Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner, from 1 p.m. 1 p.m. and we invite you to come out. We want you to bring your brothers and sisters, bring your family members, bring those who you love and care about, because we have a message which is a very, very important and very profound message. It may sound strange because you've not heard it before, but just because something sounds strange, you shouldn't reject it. If it resonates with the nature of yourself, in the sense that truth resonates. Every human being knows when they hear truth, because it vibrates with your being, because you are built in truth. And so if you hear truth, truth comes with a component of duty. When we hear truth, we should act on truth. I'm appealing to the black men who are here. Come and join your nation. Only when we as black men become strong in this world will this world show respect for black people. But as long as we keep on expecting them to respect us while we are a disunified people, we will continue to be their beating stick. We will continue to be exploited. We will continue to be used and abused. Join your nation. To the black women, join your nation. Be a part of the nation. Don't listen to the naysayers. Farrakhan is a man of God. Farrakhan is the Son of Man. Farrakhan is the Messiah. Oh yes, sir. You can shake your head until it falls off, bounces off your shoulder, and bounces off the floor, and back onto your neck. Makes no difference. Messiah, a man who is raised by God, inspired by God to unify the members of the human family and call them back to the Sirat al-Mustaqim, what the Islamic world is in deviation from. The whole Islamic world is in deviation.
Farrakhan is a very respected man.
I know, he's a beautiful human being.
He should be called an imam.
No, he's not imam. He's way above imam. Way above imam. Way above imam.
That is a matter of judgment.
It's not judgment. It's not judgment. That's your judgment. This is what we know. This is what we know. This has been revealed.
He preached unity.
Yes, sir. Do I have white friends? That's a great question, man. That's a great question.
That's a racist question.
Yes, sir. If I'm
Never
honest,
heard this question
I would have
before.
to say I have white acquaintances. I know many white people, and we have good relations. We don't bicker, we don't fight, we don't have, you know, horrible tension-filled meetings. We have a very cordial, very beautiful relationship. I wouldn't necessarily say they are friends as such, but I would say I have acquaintances and I respect them and they respect me. That's how I would answer that question. In the Nation of Islam? No, only when we have the particular occasions when white people can come among us, like when we have our annual Saviour's Day convention, white people are welcome to come there. But during the everyday meetings of the community, the brothers and sisters, it's just for the blacks who are coming out of
The answer should be, do you have a black friend? Oh, thank you.
Yes, ask him that.
Discriminatory in the sense that we're saying, oh, you can't be a Muslim. As I explained to another gentleman a minute ago, you can go into any mosque, declare that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger, and you are literally a Muslim on that declaration. And if you do that, you and I are brothers in faith. Very simple. It's not, we don't have any hatred for white people. What we have hatred for is evil that is practiced against us as a people. And unfortunately, most of those who practice the evil have been white people. Yes, sir.
Muslim people are doing in Afghanistan right now, killing Muslim killing and forcing women to wear burqa. They are brutal and they are bad, so they have to go.
The gentleman says that right now in Afghanistan, you have Muslim people who are killing other Muslims, they're brutalizing women, they're bad, and they must go. Well, I would beg to differ with you, sir, in that what you have to understand is that most of the Islamic nations that you see today on the planet, they are very young nations, because a short time ago, Britain, America, and these European countries dominated those regions. Saudi Arabia, as an example, was actually set up by Britain. They're the ones who handpicked the leadership of that nation. Afghanistan have been fighting wars against the Russians and other Europeans for centuries, trying to get control of their own territory and build their own country up. But they've never been allowed, never been permitted to have peace where they could do that. Now the Taliban, there is no question that some of what they were practicing back in 2001, 2002, 2003, in the denial of women and girls going to school, we've already stated today that that is against the Quran, that is against what Allah teaches. However, you have to understand that those Taliban are quite often operating in a hostile environment created by the Western world. And these people are fighting against the West, trying to control their own territories. And the West, Britain and America, have been there for the last 20 years, creating nothing but mayhem. I want you to know something. Before they invaded Afghanistan in the early 2000s, the Taliban had destroyed all of the poppy fields. No sooner did Britain and America go back in there, the poppy fields began to flourish all over again. And the American soldiers and British, they were bringing out heroin, opium, selling it all over the planet and contaminating the bodies of human beings all over the earth. I'm not making this up, this is real. This is what they did to the Chinese in the opium wars. These are the biggest drug dealers on the planet. So I'm saying to you, sir, with all due respect, because I believe you're a sincere man in your expression, you need to understand that even with us in the nation, look at, like I'm talking, a lot of people come around here, they think, oh, I'm being violent because I'm loud. I have to be loud because this is a royal park. You're not allowed to amplify your voice. They think, oh, we're really angry. I'm not angry. I'm speaking with passion. So we can misinterpret what's going on in these places based on the environment in which these people have to operate. They asked me here before, what do you think of the Palestinians becoming suicide bombers? That's a serious question. In the nation of Islam and in Islam generally, we are taught against suicide. As Muslims, we're not permitted to commit suicide. Suicide is haram. And we're not even allowed to go and stand at the graveside of one who has committed suicide. But why were the Palestinians blowing themselves up? Because when you persecute people, in the Holy Quran, it says persecution is worse than death. Persecution is worse than death. So when you persecute a people, when you put them in an open prison in Gaza, when you confine people in their own land and starve them and deprive them of basic human rights, there comes a point in a human being where they despair to the point where they go insane. And those human beings, they start to make some calculations that say, I would rather die and take some of the enemy with me than endure one more second of this inhuman behavior. That's how suicide bombers come about. And you can't blame them. You have to look at the environment that forces people into such condition where they literally become insane.
I agree, but my question is, what is happening now in Afghanistan? Those people are bad, so you did not condemn them, and you are all the time to try to get the justification for their brutal behavior.
So the gentleman is saying, he is re-emphasizing his point that from his perspective, the Taliban and the people in Afghanistan are bad. And we don't seem to be addressing that. Well, let me address it directly. You got to understand, sir. See, the Taliban, they've got some Kalashnikovs from Russia and China.
And Quran.
Well, leave the Quran for the time being. That's their faith. That's their faith. They're Muslims. But the Americans, yeah, but the Americans have got the Bible. Before the American airplanes take off, they bless the plane. They bless the plane in Jesus' name. So don't just look at the Taliban as if they're the only ones who invoke the name of God. The Americans have got B-52s. They've got these bombers that fly almost outside of the atmosphere, dropping 20 and 30 and 100-ton bombs, TNT, on men, women and children. You're talking about the Taliban are bad? Hold on, man.
America is the
See,
devil, no doubt.
this is the problem. See, this is the... Yeah, that's right. But the point is, you got to put things into proportion. It's like saying the Palestinians are bad. With stones. Well, the Taliban with Kalashnikovs, while the Americans have got helicopter gunships, while the Americans have got tanks and armored personnel carriers and warships that are so powerful they can send shells all the way from the ocean and hit targets in land. Come on, man. The people have got no choice but to fight. The people have got no choice but to resist that tyranny. Yes, but hold on. Look, man, the Americans, the white man, his #1 modus operandi is called divide and rule. So he goes into Afghanistan and he befriends some of the people. And he tells them, we love you. We're going to protect you. We're going to look after you. The Mujahideen, they said, we support you. They taught them how to make bombs and how to make booby traps, how to destroy the Russian tanks and drive the Russians out. They said, after you get rid of the Russians, we're going to support you. We're going to build Afghanistan. Then when they got rid of the Russians, the Americans left them. Because they're liars. They're liars. So the Americans and the British, they're the ones who go down there and separate the people, divide the people. And they told the interpreters, and they told their guides and their scouts, we will take care of you. We will protect you. Now you see them trying to run out of Afghanistan, leaving the people now to be slaughtered because those people were traitors against their own people. That's the reality, whether you like it or not. See, if these are my brothers, if one of these brothers is working for MI5 and we find out, we're going to cut his head clean off. We have a right to kill our traitors, just like they punish and kill their traitors. That's why Edward Snowden is in Russia right now. That's why Julian Assange can't get no freedom right now, because that's how they treat their traitors. And we reserve the right to do the same. And the people in Afghanistan, they're now going to go after all of those who collaborated with an enemy to allow that enemy to drop bombs, to sell opium, and to destroy that nation over 20 years. You can't blame them, man. Come on, man. You got to understand. Who? Yeah, we know. They are the devil. So is the Englishman. The devil. The Englishman is a worse devil than the American. The Englishman made the American. The Englishman, London, he's the Don, he's the brains. The Americans are like cowboys. They shoot from the hip. They're very loud. But the British, they will lull you to sleep as a gentleman while they cut you with a knife that's so sharp that you don't bleed on the outside, you bleed inside. That's the English white man, a real Satan. This is him here. Make no mistake about it. You keep looking at America, America, America. This is the mother. If America is the belly of the beast, Britain is the brain of the beast. Next question. We're going to finish now. Yes, sir.
Hold on.